have never been done before.
We the people tell the government what to do. It doesn't tell us. We the people are the driver. The government is the car. And we decide where it should go and by what route to do. We the people are free. And I hope we have once again reminded people that man is not free unless government is limited.
Well, howdy, folks. How are you? Hope you're having a bloody good Monday. If you've got a bit of silver in your pocket, you're having a very good Monday. We'll talk more about that a little later on, but rest assured, the queues are long. If you are turning up at bullion dealers around the nation, then you are likely to be met with a queue that's going to take you some time to get through. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. Ainslie Bullion, though, buy online, ainslieBullion.com.au, and they'll just send it to you. It makes it a whole heap easier. Don't need to stand out anywhere on a footpath in the heat. Not that you've really got to do that anywhere at any of the Ainslie offices, because they're all located in very well air-conditioned office buildings. However, sometimes they do fill up and the lines do go out the door. Well, let's hope you get to pick up your bit of silver sooner rather than later. And if you don't want to stand in the queue, ainslieBullion.com.au. Don't forget, put my name in the notes section or Voice of Freedom, and you'll pick yourself up a little bit of a discount, which might enable you to buy a 15th more down the track. And a 15th, the way the price is going, could be worth a bee's dick real soon. You never know. It's going to be a very exciting time. Speaking of exciting times, just before Christmas 2024, I beg your pardon, Vince and I had the distinct pleasure of being invited to a My Place Christmas get-together down in Victoria. It was held at a place called Wackety Creek, not far from Echuca on the Murray River, and we had a ball of a weekend. There were many people there that we'd never met before, many very learned people who came along and gave speeches, gave learning, education on a whole heap of different subjects. And both Vince and I walked away from it thinking, gee, what a wonderful, wonderful thing to do. Queensland said, gee, we're going to do that. And they tried to get it done before Christmas last year in 2025. But for one thing and another, it wound up being put off until January. And, well, here we are in January. If you are looking for somewhere to go, then the Burra Creek Bush Camp is definitely the place to be heading on the 24th, the 25th, and the 26th of January. To tell us more about what's going on there from My Place Sunshine Coast, g'day, Bob. How are you, mate? And we will welcome Craig, also from Gympie, to tell us a little bit more about the Burra Creek Bush Camp and what's planned for this fabulous weekend. Bob, I'll start with you. Bloody great idea to come up with it. We don't need to go into the reasons why it was postponed prior to Christmas. Just the simple fact of the matter was it was Christmas and it was busy, and this is a better time. So really looking forward to it. It's going to be a great event by the sound of it.
Yeah, Thanks, Carl, and welcome everybody. Yes, we're inviting everybody, all colours, all creeds. Doesn't matter whether you're white, black, pink, yellow. Who cares? Whether you're male or female, that's important because that's all there is. And we just want to connect. Community, unison in community is what we're looking for people to come and enjoy the bush setting at Craig's place, and enjoy and connect with real people in real time on a good memorable weekend. Yeah.
Well, memorable indeed. And the thing about it is it's not terribly far from Brisbane. So I just want to bring this up and give people a bit of an idea. You can see Queensland there, Brisbane, sort of right here. We're about I'm taking a bit of a guess, just north of the Sunshine Coast. I'm going to say 3.5 maybe hours north of Brisbane to get to the Burra Bush Camp. Craig, would that be right?
No, we're a little bit closer than that. We're only just over 2 hours north of Brisbane, wow. The north side of Brisbane. Beautiful. So once you get out of Brisbane, just under 2.5 hours, you'll be at Gunelda.
Ah, very nice indeed. And I've driven through Gunelda on the highway, on the Bruce Highway, numerous times. I didn't even know that the Burra Bush Camp existed. So do you want to tell us a bit about it, mate?
Yeah, mate, we've been only operating for 12 months. It was previously another bush camp before us, and we took it over, and we've revitalised it now using our connections with My Place Gympie and surrounds. It's a great little spot for people to come and rest and relax on the highway. We're only 5 kilometres from the highway, far enough away for the traffic not to be keeping you awake.
Very nice indeed. Yeah, you won't hear the rush of the trucks coming past. It is truly a beautiful part of the world. So how many spots have you got available for people to come along for this weekend, Craig?
Well, we've got several camp areas and we could easily house a couple of hundred people without any difficulty. We've got a 70-acre property. Out of that is around about 30 acres we've got available for camping.
Great. And you don't have to have any special 4-wheel drive or off-road caravan to get there or anything, do you?
No, it's 2-wheel drive accessible, even in the worst weather.
Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. So, Bob, what are the plans for the weekend? What can people expect? I guess everybody will roll up sometime on the Friday evening or Saturday morning. Friday evenings usually start off with a bit of merry jolliment. It's been my experience with My Place.
Yeah, there's plenty of merry people in the My Place groups, that's for sure. Friday will be set-up day, and everybody's welcome to come in. We've got some volunteers coming in throughout the week, helping to set up. The Saturday and the Monday will be the main 2 days, and Sunday will be recovery from a few sherbets, of course, on the Saturday night, of course, around the yarning circle and the fire
Can
pit.
I just pause you for one moment?
So,
can I just pause you for one moment, because I think that is the epitome of forward thinking by an advanced community who appreciate who the members of their community are. They need a rest day in between Saturday and Monday, just in case it's a big night on Saturday. Yeah. Well, clearly learned. Well done.
Look, and there's some activities. There's some activities that we're going to be planning for the Sunday as well, including a luncheon at the Thebine pub, which we're planning. Everybody's welcome. Also, we've got a possible Indigenous ceremony at Rainbow Beach, maybe that afternoon. It's got to be all collated together and whatever else. But we've got a very strong First Nation presence coming from all over Australia. It started off with just perhaps a few locals, Kabi and a few Waka Waka Nation people from the South Burnett region, and the Kabi from the local Sunshine Coast, East Coast area. Then all of a sudden, the lady warriors involved in that groups, they've been talking to everybody around Australia and all the mobs. We've got West Australia, South Australia representation coming. We've even got Norfolk Island coming over.
Wow.
Some people from Norfolk are flying over to meet up with the Indigenous mobs coming together. And we're working on a possible North Queensland. Well, so you just never know who's going to turn up. It's just amazing. It's grown. It's mushroomed out to a mini Woodford, a mini Gympie muster. Look out.
Yeah. Well, that's not a bad thing at all, especially if it's for our community. I know if a lot of us went into the Woodford Festival or the Gympie Muster and got behind a microphone and sprouted some of the things that we sprout, we wouldn't be there very long. So it'd be great to have a festival of our own like that at your place, Craig.
Mate, look, and one of the things is we've got a beautiful timber corrugated iron cabin where we'll be doing most of the presentations from. It's got a beautiful background view looking over the skies of the Sunshine Coast. And the grounds are nice and flat and green grass. You can throw your shoes off and walk around barefoot. Beautiful grass to be walking on. And we've got the dam there, so the little kids and the big kids can go for a swim. If you want to go for a bike ride, you can bring your push bikes along or your e-bikes if they're that way inclined. And ride around the property as well. We've got tracks all around the property. Showers, toilets, and we've got plenty of space for fireplaces.
I gather you've probably got a fair bit of wildlife on the property as well.
We do. We've got a couple of drop bears. We've got the marsupials, kangaroos, We may have the occasional cows and calves walking through the property as well at the same time, sharing the campsites. But yeah, everyone's welcome. We've got something for everyone coming up on this weekend, and Bob mightn't have mentioned it yet, but we've got a local bush band coming, the Bush Turkeys, and they'll be playing the mandolin, electric guitars, drums, and acoustic guitars. And we'll be looking for other people with instruments, didgeridoos and such to join in jam sessions with them.
That sounds like an awesome weekend.
We're looking forward to it. And look, it's only $25 a head for the whole weekend. So if you come Friday and you leave Monday night or Tuesday morning, whatever, you know, it's still only $25. We're about building community, and that's what this is about. It's only just to help cover some of the expenses, but this is about us getting together in like-minded people, being able to relax in an environment that encourages relaxation and enjoyment, and that's what we're after.
So I get that you just don't want people to turn up unannounced, although that would be fine. Be nice if you had a bit of an idea of numbers beforehand. So can people book a site with you online at the moment?
They can contact me through our Facebook page, or which has my mobile number on it, same as the flyer. And I put them into the spreadsheet, so I know if they've got a camper van, a tent, whether they need any additional needs for their camping. We've got people bringing their puppy dogs along, so we've got areas that people can take their dogs down near the creek.
Right, that was going to be my next question, actually. Are you dog friendly?
Yes, we are. Yeah, we've had dogs all my life, so I know what it's like for people to go away for a few days. It's a bit hard. So, yeah, over 70 acres, I'm sure they'll be able to find somewhere that they'll be able to run off leash somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you say, you've got some beautiful grass out there, wonderful for grounding. And Bob, you were saying that there are going to be a variety of opportunities for people to learn and gain new experiences from presenters who are going to be there. I'm guessing some of them will be into yoga or Tai Chi or doing things in the early morning dew of the ranges up there in Gunalda. Can you explain what other talks might be going on over the course of the weekend?
Yeah. Well, we're concentrating predominantly on health and well-being, and that's that our number one wealth is our health. So there'll be lots of presenters in that field, like myself. You know, I'm a nutritional body balance specialist, so I'll be presenting. I'll be showcasing a biophotonic water app. It's the latest technology that's out there that actually converts H2O into H3O. That's just one example of some of the products to be around. We've got presenters with Neem. We've got presenters with nutrition, and I think Craig's got a couple of people lined up as well with tinctures and a few other different presentings. What have you also got, Craig?
Yeah, so we've got a couple of stall holders that do their own tinctures. They do about natural health. It's about the bush medicine. Talk about the bush medicine. We'll do a walk around the property, and people will be able to identify what they've got on their property or can access, which is just natural. The farmer's friend, you know, the old normal little one that grows on every property just about. You can put them in your salads, put them in your tea. All of the natural products to get away from the pharmaceutical industry, which we don't need at all. We may need the medical aspects, but we don't need the pharmaceutical aspects through our life. And we're going to have a lot of people out here giving people an alternative view with facts and evidence about what they can use as a supplement or an addition to what they're using now.
That area, or maybe just a little further north of you, was known for a lot of different sorts of foliage. I know from traipsing through a paddock one day holding a metal detector in my hand that they have come-along trees in your part of the world. Have you got them, or in north of you? Have you got them on your property?
Yes. So
always a great showstopper when you bring someone out to see them, mate.
Yeah, so hopefully they'll still be here as long as the cows don't eat them.
Some of our First Nation. Carl, some of our First Nation friends are going to be presenting a bush tucker walk around the property. That's going to be a big feature, perhaps on the Sunday morning or Monday, whatever. But some of the other activities we've got, Craig's built a large dam and cleaned it out. We've also got a flying fox, a jetty on the dam, so people can go for a swim. We've got plenty of toilets and showers available, conveniences. We've even got an elbow sleazy dartboard. That's going to be very popular.
I'd be very impressed. Does it look anything like this?
That's exactly one of the ones where we're going to be using.
I'm glad it can help. It sounds like a truly wonderful weekend. So if people want to get out of the city or get off the Sunshine Coast, it's a beautiful part of the world. But I know a lot of folks like to get off and away from the Sunshine Coast on holiday weekends, if you like, because everybody else flocks there. You don't have to go too far from the sunny coast. If you're only 2 hours north or 2.5 hours north of Brisbane, then you're an hour from the Sunshine Coast, Northern Sunshine Coast. So that sounds really, really great. Easy for people to get to. And for those who are in the Harvey Bay.
Only 1 hour. It takes me about an hour.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah. So, no, you're right. You're right in the middle of where some really good people are and some really good My Place communities too. So it'd be great to see as many people as possible there. My plan is to get there. I don't know that it'll be in the bus, but my plan is to be there. So I'm looking forward to the weekend tremendously. And I remember Gunalda, if it's only just the bend up through the highway where you get to pass the fools who've been travelling at 60 kilometres an hour for nothing else. But
just before that.
Just before that bit, righto. All good. All good. All right. For those people who travel the Bruce Highway regularly, you'll know exactly the bit of road I'm talking about. Gentlemen, thank you very much. I really appreciate having this time with you today. And if we can help by promoting it, we'll keep promoting it right up to the event, of course. But we would like to see as many people there as possible. And once again, I'll put the flyer up, and your phone number is on there, Craig. People can ring you, can book that way if that's what they'd like to do, or they can find you on Facebook, Burra Creek Bush Camp.
That's it. Yes.
Yep. That makes it very easy indeed. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Appreciate your time today. I really do.
Thank you very much for inviting us on, Carl. I think it will be a great weekend. And
thanks, Carl. And I'll do a Vince.
Good on you, Bob. Well, I'll do a Vince to you. There you go. Thanks, Craig.
All right. Thank you very much, Carl. Appreciate it.
No worries at all, mate. And we look forward to being able to help in any way we can going forward.
No, thank you. Look, it's one for the people.
Yep, absolutely. And it will be a great weekend. And by then, well, who knows what we'll have to talk about in between the different things that are happening. So, very exciting event. Cheers, mate. Look forward to it.
It's happening. It could be brilliant. And we do have the ability for people, if they want to do a presentation as well. We've got some time within the schedules that if someone's got something that they would really like to share with the group, then we're happy to do that as well.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. Well, we shall talk more before then, and I'll keep talking about the event until it's not there to be talked about anymore. Thanks for coming on today.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Cheers, Craig. Make sure you get along to it, folks. It's going to be absolutely fabulous. The Burra Creek Bush Camp, the My Place Queensland 2026 campout. It is happening on January the 24th, the 25th, and the 26th. It's going to be a big weekend of entertainment. You can get there on the Friday and set up, which would be nice, Friday night. And, well, there might be a sherbet or two on Saturday night for those of us that partake. Now, I want you to have a look at this, folks, and just consider for a minute how long it would take you to clean it up. I mean, quite seriously, that is a large amount of dirt. Now, that dirt has been deposited in one of the sheds of Pete from Pinaroo, and he's, I assume, at the other end of the room pushing that there. Now, God love Pete. He's been out. Oh, look at me. I've minimized myself again. There we go. Maybe if I do it now, there's got to be a way to do this. There you go. Pete's been pretty busy, of course, on the South Australian-Victorian border, not only just cleaning up the dirt, but the fires that have been going on through Victoria. Hopefully, well, I'm pretty sure that there aren't at least serious uncontrolled outbreaks anywhere near Pete from Pinaroo, but there are a lot of serious uncontrolled outbreaks still happening in Victoria, particularly central Victoria. And I think Pete sent a message before, I saw it pop up in the chat, that there is now smoke coming from Victoria over South Australia. So there's been a bit of a change of wind direction as well then. There has been some quite amazing video of fire crews on the fire grounds. I mean, I haven't ever been in this position. I've never been a fireman. But for them to be so situationally aware as they are quite amazed me. With one of the videos that I saw today, there were two trucks or two or three vehicles gathered together on a bit of a dirt road. The fire was some distance away, and they were just planning on which direction they were going to go. There was no point in being in front of this fire. They made the decision to move. They left one truck in place that had a camera running, and it may have taken a minute for this entire area to be overrun with flame. The winds were blowing up to 100 kilometers an hour, and they were pushing those flames along at that sort of speed. So hats go off to every Victorian firefighting volunteer. The CFA in Victoria have been treated so badly by the Allen government and previous Labor governments before them. In fact, some of the videos that are coming out today that I've seen are showing trucks that are 30 years old. And look, some people might whinge when the people who are making these videos say, well, look, we're driving a 30-year-old truck that is capable of fitting 3 people inside it. It doesn't have air conditioning. It doesn't have insulation. It doesn't have all the things that modern-day tankers have that do aim to protect crews, including more people in them. Most of the engines these days should be able to have at least 5, maybe 6 people in them. Now, there may still be a facility, I think it was in Ballarat, that used to build all the CFA vehicles, and it was a very proud manufacturing facility here in Australia. I wonder whether or not it's still going. Certainly the Victorian state government isn't spending any money on it because they haven't been, well, buying many new trucks, and if they have been building and buying these trucks, they haven't been putting them into regional parts of Victoria where the volunteer fire brigades are running around in 30-year-old equipment that isn't air conditioned. Now, why is air conditioning important? Well, it gives you an area to get away from the smoke. Okay, you can actually breathe something. The trucks are pretty well sealed. So it gives them an area where they can get away from smoke. And in the worst of cases, obviously they're using the truck for protection in the case of a flame over or something like that. So they want to be, getting as much protection as they possibly can. I don't think air conditioning is a bad thing for them to be asking for, the very least of it, in fact. I'd want, 25 different sprayers on the outside of the truck pointing in 25 different directions, all of which I can control from inside to just drive the truck through the fire and hopefully put the fire out. But putting the fire out does seem to be the problem. A lot of people have made remarks on how tinder dry areas of Victoria, New South Wales and Queensland truly are. We're seeing a great example of it now through Victoria, and that certainly is very dry in the regions of central Victoria, moving up over the border into New South Wales. However, some of the more enlightened conspiracy theorists have publicly brought out into the open the claim that all of this crap that's been sprayed on us for so many years and has fallen to the earth all over in these bushland areas is incendiary. And I would agree. I think there's quite a lot of that has been sprayed on us over the years, the barium, the aluminium, well, the list is endless. Now, all of that falls everywhere when they spray it. So that's why we see such intense fires on the ground. But is it? Because there have been some other pictures that have been released coming out of the Victorian fires where conspiracy theorists are saying, hang on a minute, why are we seeing beams of light in the middle of these fires, particularly at the end of where these things are flaming up? Now, I haven't seen too much overhead footage of fire damage yet to see whether or not houses are just exploding and the trees around them are staying safe. This doesn't look like the trees are too safe. And that was just one picture, but there is another one. Now, I haven't had the opportunity yet today to go through and do any sort of checking of these, so take these for what you will, but it wouldn't be too hard to Photoshop something like that into a cloud. But it does raise an interesting question about the rabbit holes that we go down, and particularly how they just happen to line up with certain corridors that the Australian Corporation are very keen to see opened up for things like the direct rail line to Brisbane from Melbourne, those sorts of corridors. Now, we've seen areas burnt, we've seen areas flooded, we've seen a huge amount of damage done to the Australian coastline since 2019. And if you have a look at the plans that they have here for the proposed high-speed train line, the Smart Cities link, then you will see that a lot of what's burning, what's flooding, and what is being catastrophized with a view to moving the people off the land is all in that corridor. So we can't immediately dismiss beams captured in the middle of fires. I mean, I'd like better pictures of them, but we can't immediately dismiss those sorts of things as much as we might like to. I'll need to do a little bit more research into that kind of thing and see whether or not there are any people who've been on the fire grounds that have seen anything like that. There have been a lot of people who have been on the periphery of the fire grounds in Victoria watching, looking at the smoke and watching particularly the aerial firefighters. Now, Victoria has practically its own air force by the feel of things. We have one of the very large, I think it's a 737 Coulson Aviation water tanker that is either based in Victoria at the moment or is flying, covering multiple states. This is one hell of a tanker. It's capable, I think, of making multiple drops, up to 5. It might be 3. And I was watching yesterday some vision of this thing supposedly fighting fires in Victoria. Everybody was getting very excited about it and how exciting it all looked. And I looked at 3 or 4 different videos. Now, I know nothing about aerial firefighting. I know nothing about fire retardant. I know limited bits about fires and wind and flying around them. But the vision that I saw today of this 737, if that's what it is, doing a firebomb on an Australian fire site or on a fire ground, it missed it by kilometres. Now, they have a bird dog out the front, these aircraft. That's a smaller aircraft that flies, if you like, a sighting run for the bigger jet to follow through. They make sure that everything's clear. They pick the hot spots that they want it to dump on, and essentially the dump is controlled from the little aircraft that happens in front. So the bird dog comes through, then the big jet comes through. All I saw it do was turn the trees pink. There were no flames. There was no smoke. There was nothing where this retardant got dropped. Now, maybe it was a demonstration and somebody had put it up as this is what's happening at the moment. Maybe it was a demonstration. If it was a demonstration, they dumped it in a very weird spot for it to be a demonstration because they dumped it into bushland. So not much mileage made out of that. So I'm just wondering, well, I hope they're being a bit more accurate is what I'm hoping. But I've seen 2 videos today where that aircraft in particular looks to be coming in and dumping on the fire grounds, but in fact isn't. I have seen others where it is very clearly dumping on there. So I don't know. It's just a bit weird. Speaking of a bit weird, don't you think that's a bit weird? Ellen DeGeneres, who, is weirdness incarnate, has decided that she and her Australian wife, Portia, did I tell you that I met Portia many, many years ago when she was a 15-year-old model down in Victoria? One day we'll talk about her life. There is no surprise to me that she wound up in the arms of this. But anyway, I just found this picture rather interesting, particularly when you put it beside that picture. They look very similar, don't they? I mean, there's certain similarities there I just wanted to make you aware of. Mind you, you did see other certain similarities popping up there before too, with Putin on his horse and Albo on his unicorn. Albo, of course, realised that Putin on his horse was too strong an image. He could never match up to that. So now I believe he's gone athletic. God help us all. That's all I can say. So, silver, gold, precious metals today. What a good day it's been. If you follow my Facebook, you will have seen that this morning before the markets opened, I sort of suggested that today was going to be a very, very good day if you were holding silver. That's in part because I've watched so many videos over the weekend about predictions and what's going on in the market and what the banks are doing and who's doing what to where, that it became pretty easy to predict what was going to happen today. And in about, call it 7 hours time, when the New York market opens, there will be another rush. So by the time you wake up tomorrow morning, I wouldn't be at all surprised to see that the price of silver is over $130 an ounce. At the moment, it's sitting at 125.61. Let me refresh. 125.64. It has been up there. That is a new record high, I believe, too. Gold is also up 6,855.95, and the gold-silver ratio is sitting at 54.52, and it is on the downward trend. Keep an eye on that. That is the thing you really want to be aware of, the gold-silver ratio. So over the weekend, a lot of people clearly thought, well, somebody has been saying a few right things about what's been going on in the market. And, all those weirdos like me who've been telling people to go and buy silver for a few years. Well, some of those who've been not listening for a few years woke up today and suffered FOMO. Now, FOMO is something, if you're not aware of that phrase, you're going to hear it a lot, and you'll be able to see it now that you're aware of it in those around you, particularly if you start talking about silver and what it's doing price-wise. FOMO is fear of missing out. So all those people, and this has actually happened to me today, all those people that you have spoken to in the past and encouraged, as I have, to maybe go to Ainslie Bullion and invest a bit of their hard-earned into the shiny stuff, and didn't, and looked at you weird and got sick and tired of hearing you talk about it, all of them woke up this morning and have been hearing what's going on and thought, well, maybe I'll just go and get 1 or 2 ounces. Maybe I'll go and get 3 or 4 ounces, or maybe I'll go and get a kilo or 3. Well, I can tell you that's what it looked like in Sydney. There were queues 40 metres in each direction today outside a bullion dealer in Sydney, and it took 2 hours, 45 minutes to get to the head of the queue. And that wasn't at 9 o'clock this morning. That was at 1 o'clock this afternoon. At 9 o'clock this morning, I believe the queues were bigger, somebody was telling me. So fear of missing out may have started to reach some of the those of us in the community who have not been listening closely, but now they are. So that fear of missing out is driving them to head to their nearest bullion dealer and try and get a hold of what they can. I would simply say take the easy route and go to ainsliebullion.com.au and order it online. Now, supply, when I was talking to Michael Angerman, the CEO of Ainslie last Monday, he said supply was not a problem for Ainslie Bullion. They have quite a lot of industrial supply stock. What this means is that Ainslie get their own things minted. They get their own coins refined and all that sort of stuff. So they have to have a certain amount of silver, industrial silver, used for that process on hand to be able to keep making. Now, what's going on at the moment is their refiner is working, I would imagine, to a point where there's steam coming out their ears. They can't press this stuff, make this stuff, cool this stuff, polish this stuff, and get it out the door fast enough at the moment. So rest assured that supply is not a problem through Ainslie Bullion. And I've had a deep, long chat because a number of you have spoken to me personally about buying unallocated silver and leaving it on the shelves with Ainslie Bullion. This is a practice that has been done by many, if not all, bullion companies forever. However, it is also part of the reason why unscrupulous banks, unscrupulous brokerages and finance houses are in the trouble that they are in right now. That's because those institutions, banks like HSBC, Citibank, Bank of America, have all had silver in their vaults, physical silver in their vaults. But somebody at some stage in the last 20, 25 years has said, oh, look, there's a new income stream we can develop from all that silver that sits in our vault and does nothing. We can lease that out to other financial institutions so that they can go and start making loans and doing associated other business. And then they'll make enough money out of that to buy their silver. They'll give our silver back at the end of the lease and life will be good. Except it hasn't quite worked out that way. Banks like HSBC, banks like Bank of America and Citibank have found that they are not just a few hundred ounces short. They are some multiple millions, if not billions of ounces short. Now, I saw one person today who said, how can the big banks be billions of dollars short or billions of ounces short, given that there are certain trade indicators showing there's only 220 million ounces outstanding in the world at the moment through 22 different institutions? I would argue that the figures of 220 million ounces outstanding are the unhypothecated figures. What has happened with the silver market in particular is that they have hypothecated money through it. And that means that there has been, on paper at least, an increase in silver when the reality has been that they haven't made any more silver from the paper. They've just traded it, played with it, boosted it up, sold it, got it back, and sold it many, many, many times over. You don't have to worry about that if you've got money or if you've got silver in an unallocated account with Ainslie Bullion. That silver is essentially sitting on a shelf with your name on it, regardless of how many ounces it is. Unallocated means that you don't get to pick the bars or the coins or whatever it is when you walk in and say, I want to take that home. You'll basically get it handed to you out of the unallocated store. That could be anything that has historic and historically valuable coins and bars in it, because Ainslie do not look for historical value. All they look for, all they pay on, is the weight of silver. So if you've got a nice, shiny, historical coin that you perceive is worth $500 above spot price, then take it to somebody who will give you $500 above spot price for it. Ainslie Bullion will give you spot price for it, minus a little bit. That's all. Because it's only worth silver to them. They don't care how pretty it is. No bullion dealer does. So if you are looking to buy, unallocated is the cheapest way to buy, and you don't have any of it in your hand. It all sits in in one of the Ainslie vaults. But you know you own it. You can get to it, and you can get any of it out and convert it to silver, or you can put it to gold, or you can put it to cash, or you can put it to Bitcoin at any time you want. But worthwhile checking out. Also, for people who suffering FOMO at the moment and thinking, oh, you know, it's now 140, I'm going to take a stab, it was $140 an ounce coin earlier today. I'd say it's going to be closer to $141 or $2 an ounce. Some of them, the American Silver Eagle, will be $150 an ounce to buy. You are not too late. And Ainslie Bullion have this fractional buying system through their Ainslie Saver account. So if all you could put away is $20 or $50 a week, then put it into an Ainslie Saver and you get to fractionally buy the metal of your choice, silver or gold. Get into it now. You might find that if you can put, you know, $100 or $50 a week into an account like that at the moment, your silver will fractionally grow exponentially in the next few months, bearing in mind that that $50 you pay today gets X amount of silver, but tomorrow it gets more. Tomorrow, the day after, it'll get more again. It keeps gaining value. It doesn't lose value like putting $50, well, anywhere else. So give that a thought if you are still teetering. FOMO is a thing, but I would say to you, that if you are worried about protecting your own gold and silver in your own property, then leave it in the unallocated accounts and vaults of Ainslie Bullion. Go and get some, bring some to you, but, you know, if you've got a sizable amount, do you need to have $100,000 worth of silver around you? Let's be honest, that's a lot of kilos of silver, a lot. And it becomes quite the pain to move around, quite the pain to protect. Some people get very nervous about having that sort of level of wealth hidden around the house just in case somebody else stumbles on it and steals it. It's not like you can go around and keep checking it every day, that kind of thing. So if that kind of thing is going to worry you, then by all means, avail yourself of Ainslie Bullion's unallocated system, and they have the vaults. You can bring a few coins home or bring a bar or two home, whatever you want, but you can keep the vast majority of your wealth safely locked up inside the vault. When the power goes off and you can't access the vault, we'll figure that out at the time. There will be ways and means around it, but just as long as you've got a bit of it on hand, all good. And many of you will insist on keeping it all on hand. That's not a bad thing either. So you just don't talk about it. You know, it's hard not to talk about it when you're talking about it. Advising people to go and get into silver. You know, go and buy some now. Go and buy some now. Oh, have you bought some? What have you done with it? Oh, well, yeah, I did. And oh, yeah, I've got it. Because you don't want to go telling people where you've got it, how much of it you've got, all that kind of thing. Because while at the moment it's still relatively cheap to buy, what if it does go to $5,000 an ounce? What about those fellas who turn up in your driveway at 3 o'clock in the morning with balaclavas on, waving machetes? Do you think they'll just be looking for car keys at that time of the morning when silver is at that sort of a price? Well, at the moment, the mainstream media isn't talking about it, so the odds of, you know, the vast majority of those types knowing about it aren't high. They don't perceive there to be a value in hunting it, but the time will come. The time will come. So you need to be prepared for that, and there are so many good ideas. I was talking to somebody about this today. They're asking me for places where they could store or hide their silver. And I do not give that advice out. I have got a list here of over 100 really ingenious places where you can hide silver, from deeply, deeply, deeply hidden to hiding in plain sight. But I do not like to share those with anybody, because if you decide you're going to take one of those ideas, and if for some reason you happen to get robbed, then all of a sudden I know where your silver was, even though I didn't know you'd put it in one of my ideas. So it makes me feel really uncomfortable. So I do not want to tell you how best, or what are many of 100 ways you could go and hide your silver to protect it to yourself. Gold too. I will tell you one. I know a person who has very heavy, multiple kilo gold bars, and she has knitted cozies for them, or crocheted cozies for them, and they are doorstops in her house. So when people kick them, I complain about the doorstops and all that kind of stuff. But when everybody is gathered around at the reading of the will, they're all going to be given a doorstop, and that's probably going to make their life. But they've been stepping on them for most of their lives, swearing about them, complaining about them, and kicking them, not realizing at all what they're actually kicking. So it's a funny old world, but it's a beautiful, beautiful idea. The bars have actually been painted. They don't look gold. But she was very proud of the idea and had to show me. And I was staggered by it. So, no, I'm not going to tell you where she lives, not even going to give you a state where she lives. But it's a classic example of how you can hide things in plain sight and people don't look. And you've got to be very comfortable with that. She is also a lady who doesn't go out a great deal. She's usually always at home. People come to her more than she going to them. She's an older lady. So she has an element of security, and like personal security, and she has the place wired with closed circuit TV. So that's just as a normal security aspect, not because she happens to have precious metals. So you can do it, folks. Do not be at all surprised. There are, just thinking if I can tell you another one. I will tell you another one. If you have a lot of wood, big wood, lying around on your property, I know a bloke who hollowed out a fairly large tree trunk and put his gold and silver inside the tree trunk and then refilled the tree trunk, or the hole that he used, access hole that he used. Redid the whole tree trunk to look like a tree trunk, rolled it over beside his barbecue pit, and people now sit on it and use it as a seat around his big barbecue on his property, not knowing they're sitting on quite a literal fortune in that log. So there are very interesting places you can store it. So don't get too paranoid about what you can do. Just think a little clearly and see what you can do. But, anybody can hollow out a log and hide it somewhere in a garden, or bury it, or do all sorts of different things. What you don't want to do is forget what you've done with it. Okay. And I've heard some horror stories about that. Vince will tell you the horror story of a fella that he's trying to help. God love him. We love him dearly. Who forgot his seed words for his Bitcoin account, where he owns, I think it was 9 Bitcoin, like not points of a Bitcoin. He owns 9 Bitcoin and can't remember the seed words to get into the account. So we'll see what's going to happen there. Vince is working hard. What are you doing? What do you plan on melting all your silver and make a statue of me? Wow, mate, that's getting a bit over the top. However, if you need me to present me to you, I could do that. It'd be a bit silly, wouldn't it? Me handing my bust to you. Well, it's your silver and gold. You can do it whatever you'd like. Hide some in dog poo. Yes. Well, yes, if you were on a farm and you had access to large amounts of cow turd or donkey poo or horse shit or whatever, then yes, you could store a great deal of it under the horse shit pile. People don't generally go there. Silver Fox has the right idea. A couple of Dobermans also help. Absolutely. But yeah, there is a lot of opportunities. Okay, this is an interesting point. When silver is $5,000, a loaf of bread will be $200. I don't believe that that's the way this financial reset will happen. Silver will go, pretty strong. It could go to 10,000, not just 5,000. I don't think it'll stay there. Nor do I believe gold will stay there. I believe they will come back down. However, that will all depend on a whole heap of other geopolitical things that are going on at the time. Now, at the moment, we look to be heading towards a fairly significant altercation with Donald Trump versus the rest of the world. At the moment, they have made it quite clear that they plan on taking the Venezuelan assets, the oil assets, which American companies paid for and had stolen from them. I don't know how long they plan to take that for, but certainly for the foreseeable future. They will also annex Venezuela and have whoever the woman that is nominally the president down there now after they got Maduro out, they'll have her as a figurehead down there, but Venezuela is now going to be run essentially as a CIA operation to supply oil, which is not really required in America, right? America has a lot of its own oil. What they are short on is cash. So they'll be able to sell that oil and use that cash for other purposes. Could some of that be propping up the gold and silver market? I don't know. I've heard some disturbing news from my friend in Germany. We were talking about gold and silver, and he said there's no point trying to buy silver here in Germany. There is none left to buy. I thought that can't be right. So I actually reached out and have contacted a couple of German bullion dealers. Timeframes being what they are, I haven't got an answer back yet, but I hope by tomorrow night I will have some form of answer as to whether or not there is silver bullion supply available for sale to the public, and if so, at what price per ounce, or in some markets, it's priced per kilo. So I'm not sure which way Germany works with that. But I can tell you that most Germans are miserable. They feel their country has been taken from them. It is overrun with criminals, violent thugs, the worst kind of people is how my friend is putting it. There are daily murders, daily assaults, sexual and just violent physical bashings that are happening all over Germany. It's a very sad story. And that is playing into what is coming up here on our March for Australia on the 26th of January. Now, if you can't attend the My Place event in Queensland, then you may want to attend one of those marches for Australia happening in capital cities around the country and in some regional centres as well. We'll talk about those places in the not too distant future. I know that there has been some division. There's been a bit of a breakaway. I think Beck Freedom's movement is looking after the Sydney event. I believe Shallow Chal and co are looking after the Brisbane event. I'm not sure what's going to happen in Adelaide. Mark Aldridge, there was some talk that Mark was going to be in charge of that, and then there was a lot of pushback from Beck saying that that wasn't going to be the case. He has been, up until the last few days, pushing out information suggesting he certainly was part of it. But he also posted over the weekend that his daughter Yolanda was found dead. Now, if that is the case, Mark, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry for your loss. And I don't, I'm not going to go and want to go into the specifics of it here. It's a terrible, terrible thing to lose a child. So I feel for you, mate. And we would understand if you don't have too much to do with anything over the next couple of weeks going forward, now that you've got much bigger things to look after. So a bit of tragic news to end off the show tonight. All right, folks, going to love you and leave you. Pardon me. I must have been talking for a while because my throat was dry and I'm about to have a little coughing fit. We don't want to have any of that going on. Just going to have a bit of a glance down, looking through a few of your questions, or through the chat, just seeing if there are any questions. 7 politicians died that week. I haven't seen which week that was. It's probably stupid. Okay. Denise says, if you're not computer programmer or technically minded, don't expect Ainslie to help set up your account. Pardon me. That's because I don't believe Ainslie can set up your account. Only you can set up your account. I have set up an account. It was just name, address, email address, and phone number. But I think you've also, pardon me, got to supply your license or some sort of physical ID, which might slow the process down. And then it pardon me, has to be approved. Wow. Right. Well, on that note, who knew red cordial could have such an effect? I think I better go before I can't talk anymore. Have yourself a good night, folks. Stay off the road. There are dickheads out there.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay? Let's ride!